Thank you for joining us for the 2-minute drills. I'm Aram Tolegian, joined by Fred Robledo. Freddie, this week in the Tribune area, a couple of big games. One of them will have certainly championship implications in the Hacienda League, and that could be none other than West Covina hosting Charter Oak in a game that's got a good natural rivalry, because of the locations and the success of the programs. But also it's got a lot on the line. West Covina 6-2 overall, 3-0 in league. Charter Oak 4-4 overall, 2-1 in league. This is really simple. I wrote about this earlier this week for Charter Oak. Okay, and we're going to talk about the Bishop Amat Loyola game coming up. But first we're going to start with this one. I wrote about this, for Charter Oak, this game, when they take the field on Friday night, their season hits a fork in the road. They win this game, they could be league champions. They
get back in the mix. It could be 3 one-loss teams like Diamond Ranch, West Covina.
Going into that last week of the season where they played Chino, and they're probably favored to win that game. If they lose this game, now they're in that log jam of teams that are currently 2-1, 1-2.
They can't miss the playoffs, can they?
Yeah, it's very possible. They would obviously need to win the following week, and you think if you win and you go 3-2 in the league, you're going to be in. But
there could be some two-loss teams.
That win over Diamond Ranch for them is pretty big because they have that head-to-head result. But still, nothing's for certain for them. I mean, you could either be league champs or fighting for your playoff lives. That's what it is. And for West Covina, you basically lock up a playoff spot if they haven't already.
You clinch at least a share of the league title.
Clinch at least a share of the league title.
Well,
that's a pretty good setting.
Yeah, the worst you could do if you're West Covina, I mean, you would go. They have that finale next week. That'll be next Thursday against Diamond Ranch. And Diamond Ranch has one loss right now, and they're looking pretty good. I forget, who did Diamond Ranch play this week? Did you? They play. We'll have to look that up.
I can tell you.
Yeah, go ahead. But I watched West Covina last week against Los Altos, and wow, their defense was amazing the way they shut Los Altos down. Now, granted, Los Altos had a couple of turnovers in the red zone that, if they don't turn it over, maybe they score and they put some points on West Covina. But overall, that West Covina defense, for most of the game, just shut them down. And, I was a little surprised that they manhandled them kind of that easily. And, just going off of what Los Altos did to Charter Oak, the way they were able to score a lot of points, and being physical, probably doing it, I'm just trying to figure out how Charter Oak is going to stop West Covina. Because West Covina's offense, they got stopped a couple times, but for the most part, they were able to move almost with the same kind of ease that I watched Glendora move against them when they played a few weeks back. So I really like, West Covina, they have so many backs. I'm trying to keep track.
They always do.
I'm trying to keep track of who's running. I'm keeping my chart. It's like there's 8 different guys who keep rotating. They're a difficult team to defend. They've got that line again, and they seem to be able to move in chunks. And the quarterback is okay. He's moving the ball around all right, although they don't throw the ball a lot.
Diamond Ranch plays Los Altos.
Los Altos. That's the other big game. That's do or die for Los Altos, right? Yeah, they could be out
Diamond
already.
Ranch, wants to get themselves in good playoff standing and keep hope alive for a league championship going into that game the following week with West Covina, then they have to win.
Los Altos win and West Covina win. West Covina wraps up the league title before going into next week.
That's pretty much right. So, but here's the thing, Fred. I mean, you brought up something interesting about, how do you stop this West Covina offense? And you're right. The comparative scoring would tell you, hey, Los Altos ran over Charter Oak, and then Los Altos got run over by West Covina. Now West Covina obviously is going to run over Charter Oak. Couple of things to remember though. Zion Eccles, the stud running back, all-purpose threat for Charter Oak, didn't play. He hasn't played the last 2 weeks. They don't know. They're going to find out today, which is Wednesday, whether he's going to be cleared. He's got, a bit of a heel ankle problem. They don't know if he's going to be able to play. And number
that's
two,
a huge difference too, because he's one of these studs of the valley.
Right. Number two, the way you stop this West Covina offense is by making them pass, and the way you make them pass is by putting them down in the game early. And the way you do that if you're Charter Oak is you hang your hat on the fact that West Covina probably hasn't seen very many good passing attacks and quarterbacks this year. And when they have, Colony, Tesoro, they lost both those games. Granted, there were some excuses with the Colony loss, some legit excuses. But nonetheless, Charter Oak should be able to throw the ball on this team. Assuming they give Cam Brown time
Yeah.
back there. But they have a good scheme. They should be able to throw the ball on them. And if they could somehow get like a 14-0 lead and turn McCorkle and that offense into passers, which would also mean that West Covina would have to get out of its comfort zone and decide to pass, which they may not. Down 14-0, they may stay, hey, we're still going to run you over.
And I think that's a little wishful thinking. I think Charter Oak teams in the past.
I'm trying to help their case. Or find what their case is.
It's been pretty well noted that they're not really big. They're not really physical on the lines.
Not this year, no.
And West Covina was able to put a lot of pressure last week. Anytime Los Altos wanted to drop back, or they were just in the backfield getting to the running backs really quick. I can't imagine that they're going to be able to protect Cam all night and let him throw around the park.
Right.
I think West Covina knows they're a team that likes to throw the ball. I think they're going to put a lot of pressure on them. I think they're going to be successful doing it because other teams have been successful doing it. La Habra, when they played them, was probably really successful, not letting Charter Oak do the things that they normally do when they played La Mirada. A few weeks back. I mean,
but they still, they were still able to complete some big passes. Granted, they were a much healthier team at that time. What they weren't able to do was run the ball with Eccles really at all in that game. Freddie, an interesting side note to this game is you got to remember, there's backstory here. We talk about how these programs have been successful. Now, you remember when Charter Oak left the division, which I guess was the Southeast Division, and West Covina won those couple of titles, or was it 3 titles or 2 titles? Yeah. This team, they got branded as, well, you're only winning is because, Charter Oak's now in the Inland Division and whatever, and this opened it up for you. I'm sure West Covina's coaching staff remembers that. Maybe the players don't.
It was
true.
It was true.
I don't know.
Are you telling me those West Covina championship teams were gonna beat those Charter Oak teams with Santiago? I don't think so.
Yeah, there was one. The first one, I do. And there was a lot of comparative scoring.
The one where they beat Lacerda 89 to
no, this was the team before that, the one that beat Bonita, because I think Bonita had beaten Charter Oak that year, and they also both played Glendora. West Covina beat Glendora. Glendora beat Charter Oak. That was Santiago's junior year. And I do think that West Covina team was better than that Charter Oak team. Well, now, the next 2 years, when Charter Oak had Santiago go off his senior year, no, they wouldn't beat them. It might be a pretty good game, though. And then following you remember when Charter Oak was all defense, and they had, all those studs on defense. I don't think West Covina would have beaten them then either. But, Charter Oak has always hung its hats on, we've always owned West Covina. But there was a 13-12 win by West Covina back when, I was here before. This is the first time,
forget the leagues, you see the tide turning a little bit where West Covina maybe is catching up in talent, or maybe they've surpassed them right now.
It's numbers, man. They got bigger guys. They got, just as big a numbers in the program. They may not have, as many athletes, but they do have athletes.
Look at. To me, West Covina was very fortunate. They were able to kick Charter Oak out of the area into the inland. I mean, those teams that voted them off the island, they were able to do it at a time when South Hills and Charter Oak were still pretty good. Charter Oak being even better. Now,
West Covina beat those South Hills teams,
both of those teams have come back. And it's amazing what losing and not winning the playoffs does to you, football team as a culture. They've come back, and when you thought South Hills and Charter Oak were going to be dominant, they've kind of leveled off with some of these teams.
But that's what I said all along. Go look at Charter Oak on Friday night and tell me this team belongs in the Central Division, or tell me they belong in the Inland Division and not the Central Division. You look at that team, they are not an Inland Division program. Besides, they had really nice teams that would have won the division a couple of those years when they were in the Inland, that would have won the Southeast or the Central, but they didn't. They were in the Inland, and they did win playoff games, but they couldn't get out of the second round. Once it got up to playing in Upland or a Rancho, they got hit in the mouth. But they can handle those third place teams, whatever. Make a pick in this game.
I've got West Covina on Friday night. They're going to finally beat the Ferraris. I don't know when the last time West Covina beat Charter Oak. I'd have to look.
Well, I was trying to tell you, it was like a 13-12 game in 2006.
Okay, it's been a while because I don't remember watching West Covina beat.
It was at Charter Oak. It was a funky game. It wasn't the greatest Charter Oak team. I want to say it was 2006. It was a 1-point win.
Man, West Covina's going to beat Charter Oak, and Charter Oak's going to go into Week 10 fighting for their playoff lives. That's amazing.
That's what happens when you don't have interior guys. That's or you get injuries. I'm picking Charter Oak, Fred.
Are you? Okay.
For the reasons that I told you about. Now, obviously, if Zion Eccles doesn't play and you get to the game and find out he's not playing, I want my pick back.
Okay.
But I'm assuming he's going to play somehow. And I think that Charter Oak, with their ability to pass, will give West Covina problems.
We'll see.
Let's just remember.
I like West Covina by 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, it's hard to stand in front of this West Covina train. I mean, that's true. Great coaching matchup.
Yeah.
Great programs. Great everything. Great players. Fans, no matter who you pick, no matter who you got, go out and enjoy this game. This is a really big one with lots of implications.
Yeah.
West Covina hosting Charter Oak. Now,